What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content that we have coming out. And with this video, we're going to be diving into Marvel Dark Age issue number 1. Written by the amazing Tom Taylor, we are finally seeing what the Watcher has been watching for all of these years. We learn of a new mysterious being known as the Unmaker, and we're being introduced to a future that is vastly different than present day. And with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into issue number 1 of Dark Ages, I am super excited to get into this line. Not knowing really what to expect, but after giving it a read, this is absolutely phenomenal stuff, and I am really excited to see where this story is going to land. But this story is picking us up in New Jersey. We have Peter Parker, MJ, Luke Cage, and Jessica Jones. Not only that, they are accompanied by their 2 children, of course. And this is just a regular day. A kickback day for everybody to relax, have a slice of pizza, and just enjoy company. But of course, we know in all of Marvel, regular days can go chaotic very quickly. And while everybody is enjoying themselves, while little May is really starting to get these powers, she's being able to climb on the ceiling and all kinds of stuff, and we can only imagine how much of a headache that is with a toddler. But in the midst of all of this greatness going on, this is when the spider sense goes off all across the world. We see Miles, we see Gwen, Peter Parker, everybody that has a spider sense is feeling this right now. And this is something bigger than they have ever experienced. Feeling like freaking Galactus is taking a bite out of the planet. Feeling like something has already happened. And with their spider senses going crazy, moments later across town, there are tremors going off. And we have Moon Girl, arguably one of the smartest individuals on the planet, if not the smartest. She's doing some calculations, she hops on her freaking T-Rex, and she heads across town, heading for Mr. Fantastic. And it's not just the spiders that sense something, because Jean Grey can feel this, Charles Xavier can feel this, and more than anything, it seems to be talking to Apocalypse. And so we can only imagine what is on its way, what is about to devastate the entire world. Now, with Peter Parker's spider sense finally fading a little bit, he doesn't know what this means. He does know that something catastrophic is about to happen, and that means he needs to get to the Fantastic Four. He needs to get to Reed Richards and find out what the freak is going on. And that is when we're taken to the Fantastic Four. With Moon Girl making her arrival, she has calculations and a good hypothesis on what is going on right now. And by all calculations, it seems like there's some kind of impact, repeated impacts happening to the Earth. But the only thing is, it's not happening from the outside. These impacts seem to be coming from the core of the Earth. And at this rate, it's only going to be a matter of time before the Earth shatters into pieces. And as they're discussing all of this information, this is where we see the arrival of the Watcher. And the Watcher lets us know that this is what he has been watching for. And right now, as it stands, the Earth, it only has hours. And this is where the Watcher fills us in on everything he knows about what is going on, saying that 10 billion years ago, a living machine had been created. Now this machine, it was made to protect the universe, to stop anything that would do it harm, and to literally swallow black holes. But over a millennia of feeding off of all of this darkness, something changed inside of this machine. It became corrupt. And this machine, known as the Unmaker, it became tainted and wild. And it turned on the very universe it was supposed to be protecting, and it began to consume everything, to unmake the entire universe. And with all of this consumption, the Unmaker became extremely powerful. So powerful that the only thing that could stop it was the Living Tribunal. But the Living Tribunal could not destroy it. The only thing they could do was put this thing to sleep, to put the Unmaker into a coma. And once inside this coma, they decided the best course of action was to put it at the core of a newly formed planet. That planet, of course, we know to be Earth. And so here the Unmaker has sat, and the Watcher has watched all of this time, waiting for this moment. And the Watcher warns them that once this thing wakes to its full power, it will crack open the planet and unmake this world and so many worlds beyond it. And so our team, some of the brightest minds in the entire world, they start devising a plan. And they realize their best course of action is to take this thing on head to head, to put it back to sleep, destroy it in some manner before the world cracks, before it becomes its full capacity. And so they devise a team. They assemble a strike force, starting with Vision, the living machine to fight a living machine, the Scarlet Witch, a shaper of reality to fight against beings that can change reality and unmake it. Of course, Doctor Strange, our Sorcerer Supreme, Invisible Woman to protect them from the heat of the Earth's core, and of course the Thing because he can really just punch the crap out of anything. And with them saying their goodbyes, they hop into a portal, and immediately we find ourselves in the Earth's core. Not only that, but we find ourselves confronted by the Unmaker. And as they stare up at the Unmaker, he is relatively unfazed by their arrival, so focused on one goal right now, and that is punching its way out of the Earth's core. This is what is causing all of those earthquakes, and these punches are being felt around the world. Even Wakanda, sitting on a bedrock of vibranium, is feeling this. They are feeling the trembles. Though their city isn't falling into chaos, that is not the case for most of the world, to include Atlantis that has fallen back into the ocean. Though technically it's already been in the ocean, but the city underneath is crumbling. And heroes from all over, from runaways to champions, X-Men, Avengers, everybody is doing their best to try to help everybody as all of these tremors happen all over the world. But there is only so much they can do up here as this thing continues to pound away at the Earth. And at the center of the Earth, this is where the battle begins. And we see the Thing, he jumps in, ready to do some clobbering time. It does not go in his favor. We see the Unmaker turn on him and vaporize him instantaneously, unmaking him right there on the spot. We see the Scarlet Witch, she attempts to reshape reality, but the Unmaker is just so freaking powerful. Everything she sends, he consumes. And eventually he is able to break down her defenses, and in doing this, he consumes her as well, completely unmaking the Scarlet Witch. With Vision completely losing his mind, he charges forth, going into the mind of the Unmaker, giving them just moments to be able to mount some kind of counteroffensive. And with Sue Storm and Doctor Strange being the only two individuals that are left here, in an act of desperation, Doctor Strange reaches out to other realities to find anything that he can use as a weapon against this thing. And in his search, he finds his weapon. He opens up a portal to where no electricity can function, a world where electricity does not exist. And the Unmaker, he sees this. He sees this portal opening up, and he shoots out a spear. And we see this impale Doctor Strange. Now it is too late for Doctor Strange. With this impaling his stomach, it is only a matter of moments before he dies. But he was able to get that portal open. And from that portal, we see a giant electromagnetic field, an EMP blast come flying in. This wave first touching our giant Unmaker, and it shuts the machine off. But when Doctor Strange died, the portal never closed. It remained open for the rest of time. And this EMP blast, it slowly made its way across the entire planet. And that was the day that the sky began to fall. Everything from Iron Man to Ant-Man, all electronics, everything that you could imagine goes offline. And that includes Spider-Man's web shooters. As he is trying to make his way back to Mary Jane and May, these web shooters go offline. He falls to the ground and he has to go running back, seeing that his apartment building is in complete and utter ruins. He screams out for the two, looking for them anywhere. Jessica Jones and Luke Cage are trying to clear out all of the debris. And with Peter Parker approaching, thinking he may have lost everything that he loves, everything that he holds dear, this is where we see little May lift up some debris like a freaking mini Hercules, finding everybody to be safe. And that's what's going to pick us up at present day. 7 years in the future. That was the day that the world ended. That was the day that this new world has begun. Because when that world fell, they built another one. A world to be proud of. But years after all of that ended, years after all of the lights went out, that's when the apocalypse came. And this is where we see Iron Man, we see Mr. Fantastic, we see Miles and Venom, and of course we see Apocalypse. And that is where this issue will end. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I think this story was a lot of fun. It's a story that has tons and tons of potential. Maybe it's just me, I am a huge sucker for post-apocalyptic stories. The Marvel 2052 The End storylines are some of my favorite Marvel stories. I just love a good apocalypse. I love a good story with apocalypse in it that includes an apocalypse. And Tom Taylor, he just loves writing those kind of stories. He loves taking a story, making some of our heroes bad guys, making them some good guys, killing a lot of them off very quickly, and really giving us a new onslaught of heroes that may have not got a chance otherwise. Maybe some heroes that aren't very utilized in the main storylines. And so I hope that's what we're gonna get from this. I hope we're gonna see a lot of different individuals, him really digging into the Marvel roster and giving some characters some shine that usually don't get that lighting. And as usual, I will remain cautiously optimistic on what's going to lie ahead. While this story has tons and tons of potential, we know how the big two can be when it comes to these stories, really giving us a great starting but fumbling the ball at the ending. But I have faith in Tom Taylor, and I am 100% on this comic, ready to see where it's gonna go. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have not yet, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out. And until the next breakdown.